how's it going, guys? Stolen here with Raised by Sharks. Today I'm bringing you a critical build based around the insect glaive. So this will work with a bunch of other weapons, but it's really centered around the Xeno insect glaive. So the skills this build, before I show it to you, we're going to get is going to be attack boost, actually level 4 if you have the proper jewels for it. I'm missing one attack jewel, but it can get to level 4 very easily. Instead, I had to slot in a health boost temporarily until I get the last jewel I need. So it would get attack boost 4, which would raise the attack over on the right side of the screen by 3 more, and also bring the raw affinity of the weapon up to 30%. It's going to get critical eye level 3, weakness exploit level 3, handicraft level 3, which is perfect for this insect glaive, because if anybody knows anything about the Xeno insect glaive, it's got a sliver of white. Now that white sharpness is the key to the weapon's damage. It's what makes it competitive with the Nergigante one and some of the other insect glaives, but the issue is that you have to sharpen it a lot to keep it at that white. The 30 weapon sharpness increase that you'll get from handicraft will make it so that way it's not as severe of an issue. You're also going to get dragon attack level 2, which brings the element up a little bit. Now here's the key to this build, which is the critical boost level 2, which is going to give you 35% increased damage to all of your critical hits. Now if this build is built around critical hits, that's very, very important. That's what's going to be increasing the majority of your damage. Now, I put on Part Breaker because for Insect Glaive, I felt like it was really good when you're doing those aerial attacks across the top of the monster. It makes it very easy to break their head and tail for your team. And then obviously what's absolutely essential to an Insect Glaive build is Airborne, because it increases your aerial attacks by 10%, which almost all of your attacks are aerial. Now let's get into the armor you're going to need for this set. So for the helmet, you're going to start with the Wrath Soul Helmet B. You're going to do that for that rare critical boost skill and 2 small slots, plus it's got some decent stats to start with. Then you're going to go with the Dober Chest B, so that way you can get a big slot that you'll use for a handicraft jewel later on, and attack boost level 2. Then you're going to go with the Kaiser Van Braces A for 2 levels of weakness exploit and a small jewel slot. The waist you're going to want to use is the Adogeron Coil B, so that way you can get 2 levels of critical eye, plus a medium-sized jewel slot. And finally, for the boots, you're going to want to go with the Death Stench Heel A, so that way you can get 2 handicraft and 2 dragon attack. Now, if you're using a different weapon for this build, such as greatsword or heavy bowgun, which it would work excellently with, you're going to want to replace the boots with whatever fits it best. So I suggest either Damascus for greatsword for the focus, or for heavy bowgun, you can go with the Lava Seoth for the spread. Now for the charm, I went with the critical boost charm, but if you don't have the materials for it, I understand you can go with the attack boost charm. It's a lot easier to make, and you'll get a little bit of attack at the expense of some critical damage. Now obviously the weapon this is centered around is the Xeno insect glaive. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. It's got good stats, and it also has 2 big jewel slots, which is perfect for what we're going to need this for. So what you're going to want in the jewel slots is the Flight Jewel 2, which is very common, to give you that airborne skill. You're going to want at least 1 tenderizer jewel to bring up that weakness exploit for maximum affinity when attacking weak points. So I have only 1 attack jewel in, but you're going to want to put the second one onto the Van Braces, so that way you could have 2, giving you 3 higher attack and 5% higher affinity than what I have shown here. You're going to also want to slot in 1 expert jewel and an extra handicraft jewel to bring it up to level 3. This down here, I went with Part Destroyer, but again, this is one that could be switched in and out depending upon what you like. Also the weapon, if you're going with, like, let's say a Diablo's Greatsword, you can go with the Elementalist Jewel, or if you're going with a Hammer, you can go with a KO Jewel or something like that. Since the build is centered around this insect glaive, I'm going to quickly just suggest the kinsect you use be the one with the Sever and Paralysis, so that way you can cut the tail more easily for your team, and also Paralysis is great for stunning the monster, and then you can just lay into them with insane DPS, buff yourself with some Demon Powder, and just completely destroy them. Also, it's got pretty good speed, which makes it really quick at getting you those buffs for your insect glaive combos. Okay guys, that's it for the build. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe to Raised by Sharks. I'm going to go ahead and remove our subscribe button from the screen, so that way we can show you some Insect Glaive gameplay with this build. Now note again, I'm missing the attack boost jewel, so everything you're seeing can even further be improved, which is absolutely amazing. This build is an incredible endgame tier build. Thank you for watching Raised by Sharks.